is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. And we are back here for another one as it is Victory Monday. We all still feeling good after the Dolphins absolutely stomped out the Denver Broncos 70-20. It was an absolutely a beautiful thing to behold. And we're starting to see, the bandwagon fill up a little bit here. Everyone all of a sudden, listen, I ain't forgot the people in our fan base and the people outside of our fan base who compared McDaniel to Adam Gase when we got him. I ain't gonna forgot the people in our fan base who for the last 3 years, even when Tua flashed that MVP ceiling last year, still bashed Tua, still doubted Tua. I ain't forgot none of y'all. Not a single one. Because usually they go hand in hand. And listen, we're going to start off. Happy Victory Monday. That's all great. But, I've been doing this for, 3 or 4 years now. Jabroni of the week. Well, we taking it up. We stepping it up. Because you know who my Jabroni of the week is? My Jabroni of the week are all of the Tua doubters and haters. That's who gets my Jabroni of the week. If you fit that bill, I don't care whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, platform, whatever platform, Facebook, Instagram, you on Rumble, I don't care what you on. Hell, you on Threads? You are the Jabroni of the week because I'm seeing all of a sudden we're starting to get short-term and long-term amnesia, it seems, huh? I remember certain people in this community fear-mongering over training camp with McDaniel's offense and Tua Tagovailoa as well throughout training camp. And now all of a sudden, everything's fine and dandy. How many times do these people have to be wrong and get away with it? These people have no credibility. They don't have an ounce of football knowledge. And y'all keep letting them get away with it. But I'm not. Y'all fit in my Jabroni of the week here. I don't care what platform you're from. All of the Tua doubters and haters, boom. Jabroni of the week for me. I don't care what media you're in. I don't care where you're from. You could be on CBS. You could be on Fox. You could be on ESPN. You could be on the local Christian broadcast network. From all those all the way to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, don't care what platform you're from. If the shoe fits, wear it. You are the jabronis of the week. And really, it's the ones who are acting like, listen, if you were a Tua doubter and hater, and you weren't, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I just got to put it there. Now, there's some who have cordially admitted they're wrong. But there's other people who you can admit you're wrong all you like. But y'all been so loud about it for how many years? Chris Sims, Phil Sims. I mean, name the YouTube channel that fits under that. There's multiple. Name the Twitter accounts that fit under that. There's multiple. Name the Facebook group haters. There's multiple. Everywhere. Y'all are the Jabroni of the week. Colin Cowherd don't get no pass. None whatsoever. I ain't buying Colin Cowherd being out here and being all of a sudden flip-flopping. Stop right now. All of y'all out here flip-flopping like a pair of sandals on the beach and you think I don't see it? Stop. Stop. People out here who are doing the worst film breakdowns you've ever seen in your life, whether on Twitter or on YouTube, who clearly don't know, they couldn't even call coverages properly, but trying to convince all y'all and spending hours of their life on all y'all trying to convince Tua was bad. How do y'all look now? Wasted everybody's time. Except mine, because I don't watch that crap. So all of the Tuas and doubters, you are the Jabroni of the week. P.S. All the McDaniel doubters can fit in there too. Because usually Y'all were one and the same. Because a lot of the Tua haters were Brian Flores supporters, so they hated Mike McDaniel because they took his boy's job. It was one big cycle. It was one big circle jerk and one big cycle. So y'all basically are the same, cut from the same cloth. But if you want me, I can say P.S. all you McDaniel doubters too, but you're all basically the same people. Sean Payton can fill in that, can go in there too, because, I mean, let's be honest, Sean Payton out here saying Teddy Bridgewater, which we've heard from other people in this community, saying Teddy Bridgewater was going to take, remember, see, y'all forget, these same people who are now flip-flopping on tour are the same ones who told you Skyler was the best quarterback in the room, told you Teddy was going to take his job, told y'all Josh Rosen was the man. All the same people. They don't know quarterback play. They don't know nothing. But now all of a sudden they're Tua fans because we're winning, and he's showing what I've been trying to tell all y'all on my platform for years that he had in him. You can see it in the film. You can see it flashing even under Flores. And then you saw it just burst out when the personnel from the sideline to the field got upgraded last year. And that's why I declared him a franchise quarterback much earlier than people in this. And I was right. So, Jabronis of the week, all the Tua doubters and haters, all you McDaniel doubters, because you've basically fallen the same thing, because it all comes back to Brian Flores with y'all. You know I had to get the graphic made up, and we're doing the graphic every week now. That just ain't for these people this week. We're doing that graphic every week now. You know what I'm saying. We had to take the Jabroni of the week to the next level. I've been doing it for so long. Might as well make something out of it. I know Connor Williams was Jabroni of the week in week 1. And then, I believe, was it Lawrence Guy? Was it Lawrence Guy? It was whoever, it was last week, the Jabroni of the week was, I believe it was Lawrence Guy, for when he was saying that whoever it was that says Tua don't do nothing special against us when he's 5-0 against Belichick, and they clearly did something special. I mean, they were pulling 3 high packages that Braxton Berrios and other players on the Dolphins are like, we've never seen that before. You didn't do any, Tua doesn't do anything special. If he's beating that defense, stop right now. Stop. So, that's a big group, but that's only the 3rd Jabroni of the week. Hey, we've got a lot of weeks to go. And as the playoffs go, there'll be a Jabroni every week. Don't worry. Because some of these people who are in the media, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, don't worry. If Tua has a bad game, they'll be right back. The colors will show almost instantaneously. Almost instantaneously. And I'm telling y'all, listen, the people who told you, listen, I told you how the spectrum always worked. You had Tua lovers, Tua believers, Tua non-believers, and Tua haters. I always said, don't have time for the Tua lovers, don't have time for the Tua haters, because those are the extremes on each side. I ain't got time for that. But the Tua believers and the Tua non-believers were always who I was talking to. Okay? The non-believers are the people who, the sensible people, all right, who even if they didn't believe in Tua, they had valid reasons, you know what I mean? And they could have good conversations, not made up reasons like he's a one-read quarterback just because these two people don't know how to read a quarterback going through progressions and such. The people who were like, okay, listen, his injuries concern me, et cetera, et cetera. People who had, well, that really only became the et cetera after last year, let's be honest. But the year before that, people who doubted, whether he had an arm, and what were we telling over here? We've had Nick Hicks on this channel 3 off-seasons in a row. It was all about getting his body back. And y'all have seen the transformation. If you go back and watch Nick Hicks' first ever interview on this channel, and then you come up to where we are right now, and you watch them in succession, it was the exact timeline. So if you watch this channel, you always knew it was about getting his body back, getting that strength back, et cetera, et cetera. So, but you could have conversations with people who just didn't believe he had it. Tua haters, they're as far gone as the extreme Tua lovers who will just, go to war over this kid. And so the Tua non-believers who said, I'm a believer now, that's not meant for you. The Tua haters, y'all fell in that haters. And again, from all those media outlets, whether it's CBS, ESPN, Fox, FS1, whatever, down to Twitter, to YouTube, in this community. Because it's one thing when we had to deal with it outside of the community, but we had people constantly active in the community, right? And it was, hey, listen, you know, one of the reasons I respect the hell out of Joe Schad is because if you listen to Joe Schad over the years, early on he was a Tua non-believer. But last year when Tua showed what he showed on, he automatically admitted, I was wrong, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? That Joe Schad was a Tua non-believer. He had moments of hate, but overall he was a Tua non-believer, right? And he admitted he was wrong, blah, 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 blah. You know? I don't want to hear from these loud people who have made, you know, they've basically made them their brands. You know, Chris Sims is one of those too. This guy's made his brand. The quarterback rankings every year were controversial because he knew he'd get all Dolphin fans riled up. The guy made half of his brand off Tua. These people who are out here like on the day about every day about it, a daily just trashing of the kid, calling him garbage, calling him all this. No, man. Sorry. Y'all can watch from the sidelines. Enjoy from the sidelines. Enjoy. You can watch. But, you know, Rex Ryan falls into that. Rex Ryan is an unbelievable idiot. Mike Tannenbaum would fall into that. You know, you can watch from the sidelines. No. No. You ain't getting on the bandwagon. You can watch the bandwagon drive by, and you can get in your little tricycle, and you can try to follow the bandwagon. But nah, man. No. Too many people. So many things were said, man. And so many wars were had with people. Like, literally, I'm not even exaggerating. People burned bridges over Tua Tagovailoa. I ain't forgetting that. And that goes on both sides. Trust me, Tua lovers did it too. So, yeah, no. I'm just saying. Enjoy it, but enjoy from the sideline, baby. All right? Enjoy it from the sideline. So, you know, because, I mean, there were people hating on Mike McDaniel before he had even coached the game. Mike McDaniel hadn't even coached the game at one point. People were out here hating on Mike McDaniel. Unbelievable, man. It's just unbelievable. But now everyone wants to act like they didn't overstep lines. Or some of y'all need to do dissertations, like I need essays written on how wrong you were and why you were wrong. And other people need to do, 24-hour live streams of how wrong they were and why they were wrong. Because that's not even a quarter of the time y'all put into bashing that kid and talking about how he wasn't the guy and how they needed to replace him. That won't even take him about a quarter of the time. You wasted all the time of these people in this community. You were wrong. All of y'all were wrong. And a lot of it came down to egos. Keep going back to, you got a lot of people in this community on the male side. They're not real men. They never admit when they're wrong. And they can never admit they're overstepping their boundaries in terms of, you got a lot of people who will try and act like they're the smartest in the room just because they don't want everyone to realize the obvious, which is they're not the smartest people in the room. And this extends from Twitter to YouTube to Facebook to Instagram. I've seen it everywhere. Everywhere. And coming from this, and I'll say it with 110% confidence and look directly into the doors to my soul through my eyes. This is coming from a guy who's righter than any of you put together. Okay? I got like over a 90% hit rate, and I'm not even exaggerating. But you know what? That 10% when I am wrong, I'm the first one to come up here and admit I'm wrong. First one. And I can even huff off examples. So, listen, enjoy your victory Monday. Listen, I'm not even, you know why I'm fired up too? That was great yesterday, but I woke up today, I want the Bills. This is no parades over here. No parades on Finside the NFL after week 3. Not happening. I told y'all all offseason in year 2, this offense had a chance to be historic. They are literally delivering what I told all y'all all offseason. And you don't see no parades from reason. I projected it. I predicted it, sure. But that don't mean nothing if we ain't making a playoff run. So, they all, like I said yesterday in the postgame, they all enjoyed the victory last night. Popped their champagne. They did their conga dance in-game, so they did their little dance. But they woke up this morning, and it was back to business. Because let me ask y'all a real question. Skip Bayless is the ultimate under that Jabroni of the week, okay? I just want to point that out, too, because I see someone said Skip Bayless, I've heard his takes. Buddy, then another one building his platform off trashing Tua since Alabama. That guy's a Jabroni every week. Unbelievable. And ever since the karma he's seeing after he treated Shannon Sharp, I love it. I stopped watching that show because he was too much for me. Loved Shannon, couldn't watch him. And I stopped watching, and I love how it all fell. Karma. Hey, in the end, karma always evens things out. So don't worry, all you Tua haters and Tua lovers, karma will get you somehow for a kid who done nothing but work hard and never done any of y'all wrong, and the time they spent just spewing slander across his name. Don't worry, it's coming. It'll come tenfold now, right? So, it's coming. Don't worry. But another thing we got to correct, too, and you threw off my train of thought with this Skip Bayless, but I had a donation come in here. So shout out to God's Child. He said, Reason, love the show and our team more than ever. Our city, Miami, deserves a Super Bowl. I'm a believer, but I still want to see how they do against a playoff-proven team like the Chiefs and Eagles. Listen, like I said, let me throw this at you. This is where I was going with it. Let me throw this at you. Let me just throw this at you. We won by 50. That's all fine and dandy. We put up 70 points. That's all fine and dandy. We walk into Buffalo and drop a stinker. Now what? Now what? I'll tell you what. Now it turns into everyone forgets about what happened because it's a what have you done for me lately league. The Bills have figured out the Dolphins. People in this community go back to hating Tua, saying he can't win against Buffalo or whatever they try to spin. The point is, what we've done in the first 3 weeks don't matter if we lose this week. People tried to spin the Broncos as a must-win, right? And what did I keep saying? It's not a must-win. It was never a must-win. I said this multiple times last week. It was never a must-win for the Miami Dolphins. It was a game about getting finely tuned for the Buffalo Bills. That's literally what I said. And sure, could people... No one said it to me, which I'm surprised, because everyone always looks at for some gotcha moment with Reason. People could have said to me, hey, Reason, you're looking too far ahead. You're looking past the Broncos. No one said it. I expected us to win 38-13. Did I expect us to put up 70? No. But did I expect the game to be close? Clearly not if I expected us to win by 25. And really, if it wasn't for a bad play on special teams on our behalf, they would have scored 13. So, listen, again, I love it. It's amazing to wake up. Is this real life? Tua's playing at an MVP caliber. McDaniels turned this culture and this team around. The run game, Devin A-Chain, who no one was out ahead of Devin A-Chain before Reason. I wanted that guy for over a year before we drafted him. Devin A-Chain lives up to the hype I've been selling all y'all by the spoon. Lives right up to it. But I'm right back to being sick because I know what the deal is. We have to win in Buffalo. This is the must win. Last week was not the must win. That was to get finely tuned for this must win. And hey, sure, special teams is not impressive. Jerome Baker's struggling. And there's a few other things that have to be worked out. But we're as ready as we're going to be heading into Buffalo. Ring, 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 ring. You hear that? It's time to answer the call. That's where we're at. This is the must win. We know how Bronco tastes on a 70 burger. A nice slab of Bronco meat. But let's go get a burger made of buffalo meat. And let's win. Listen, I will be so happy next week. As happy as you probably expected me to be when you tuned in here. If we win decisively. If we win decisively against Buffalo. Okay. I'm feeling it. But it was Denver. I expected us to handle our business. We handled it a lot better than I expected us to. But let's keep it rolling here. Let's not get caught up in regular season moral victories, because really that's what it was. Shout out to Fins1. You are the man reason I listen to all your shows, and you always support our QB1. 2 is him. And I love when you prove all these haters wrong. Keep up the great work that you do for us, brother. Go Fins. Y'all are the reason why I do this. All of you that tune in are the reason why I do this. All of you that support are the reason why I do this. If I didn't have all your support, why would I even bother anymore? I'm going to be honest with you. Why would I bother? With how ungrateful people can be on Twitter, on YouTube. Why would I be? And I'm just going back to source information. I mean, why do you think I took my sources to Patreon, right? Because of how people were treating it on Twitter, even though I was always right. So, if it wasn't for y'all's support, I wouldn't do this anymore, because to be honest with you, the people who are ungrateful and the people that keep promoting people who don't know what they're talking about, they don't deserve me. That's basically what it comes down to. Reese's Pieces says, I live in Buffalo, and a lot of people, Bills fans, are saying we are fake in their D, and Allen is going to stomp us. Heard it all day. Listen, Buffalo's the armpit of the world. The only good thing to come out of Buffalo, the only good thing to come out of Buffalo are I'll give Finn fans out of Buffalo all their props, because I know they live out there. So and they get even more kudos because they got to live through the hell that is Buffalo. And if you've driven through Buffalo, it's the armpit. Okay, Buffalo. The only good thing to come out of Buffalo are what? Chicken wings, Finn fans that live out there, and as a fan of West Side Gun and Benny the Butcher, I gotta say Griselda Records. But really, other than Buffalo, what have they given us? If you drive to Buffalo, it is literally, I'm not even trying to be funny, it is the armpit. Job not done, Kobe Bryant. I agree. Shout out to Kobe. From 8 to 2-4, RIP. I agree. There you go, M Card. Another good thing, it's near Canada. Sure. There you go, we'll give him that. But Buffalo is just, it's an ugly, ugly place to drive through. And I've seen Sabres games and Bills games out there, whether I've seen my Penguins play the Sabres or the Dolphins play the Bills, and it's just the armpit. I don't know what else to say. It's the armpit of New York, and that's you might want to call it the armpit of America, sure, but it's at least the armpit of New York. I don't know what else to say. So, and I feel bad for all the people that got to live out there, because y'all deserve better, especially if you're a Dolphin fan. Y'all deserve better, all right? Y'all famously remember what Marshawn Lynch said when he asked for a trade out of there? He just buried the city. Oh, my God. He wasn't lying. That's the great thing about it. He wasn't lying, not for a second. Don't call him a hater or a doubter. Speaking of yesterday, let's get into it. The Dolphins broke 13 records. 13! Let's get into them. Let's show you what they did. So the Dolphins break or tie 13 records in a 70-point performance. The Dolphins broke or tied 13 team or individual records in today's victory in Denver. So their team records, including postseason: most points in a game in team history, most touchdowns in a game in team history, most total yards in a game in team history, most rushing yards in a game in team history, most points scored in the second half of a game in team history, and most point attempts in a game in team history. And individual records, which include the postseason: most touchdowns in a game by a rookie, Devon A. Chan. He corrected everyone. It's A. Chan, not A. Chain. So Devon A. Chan. Most points scored in a game, 24 by Raheem Mostert and Devon A. Chan. Most touchdowns in a game, Raheem Mostert and Devon A. Chan. Most rushing yards in a game by a rookie, 203, Devon A. Chan. Most passing yards through 3 games in Dolphins history, Tua Tagovailoa. And that's coming from Dan Marino. I mean, 13 was my football number. It's my favorite number. That's coming from, a Dan guy. But Tua. Most receiving yards through 3 games in Dolphins history, Tyreek Hill with 412. And most point attempts in a game, 10 by Jason Sanders. Record breaking. I told y'all this offense would be historic. I don't really know what to say. Did I think it would be this? No. But I guess even I undersold the word historic when I used it. I don't know. Because they are historic, technically. So, I guess. I don't know. I said they'd be historic, and here they are. Year 2 is just, it's even more than what we fathomed. And Buffalo's going to have to get into a shootout with us. And I'm going to be honest with you. And we're going to talk about this as the more we go along this week. Good luck, because the defense is coming together. The defense is coming together. All right? I don't know what else to say right now, because remember, 7 of those 20 points against the Broncos were not on the defense or on special teams. I'm just saying. All of a sudden, since that Chargers game, the last 2 games were only allowing 15 points per game as a defense. And we are getting big plays from our defense when teams are getting on the other side of the field, which is usually a calling card of an elite defense. Listen, we said it was a bend, don't break defense, and it's becoming the epitome of that. If you didn't have a chance to see my takeaways this week or this morning from the win, you got 70 points and a 50-point win. That happened. All offseason, I said this offense could be historic in year 2, and boy, have they delivered. Mike McDaniel deserves a ton of credit for the turnaround as he's developed an amazing culture, got the best out of some players considered move-on worthy. He's improved himself as a coach with play calling, less penalties, etc. Tyreek Hill is the best player in football. Devon A. Chan has arrived, and if he, along with Moser, can continue to be a formidable 1-2 punch, then there's really no need to upgrade our running back. See what I said yesterday about Aaron Donald. Terron Armstead is so elite when he's healthy. The offensive line continues to open holes in the run game and help keep Tua upright and his jersey clean with another phenomenal outing. Liam Eichenberg was decent in relief. He had some bad snaps, but they weren't awful enough for Tua to mishandle or be shot over his head. The Dolphins' defense is starting to come together nicely under Fangio, and it's only going to get better as players get more comfortable in it and Ramsey eventually comes back, right? Javon Holland might be the best safety in football right now. AVG continues to make every rep count and looks like one of the best defenders in Fangio's defense. Kader Kohu is having a strong sophomore season. Ogba woke up and made some big plays yesterday. Very encouraging and looks a lot better with his hand in the dirt as opposed to standing up. Besides that third down stop with David Long, I think Jerome Baker struggled so far. And as great as the offense has been and as good as the defense is starting to look, I think special teams, they're leaving a lot left to be desired. Either way, baby, bring on Buffalo. Bring on Buffalo. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for Buffalo. Born ready. Esteban Santana says, F, and I mean FTD, to a hating fake Dolphin, a true cowgirl loving hater. I say, place TD on BR with Reason campaign. Big ups, Reason. Big ups. Hey, man, I ain't trying to take bread off anyone's table. I mean, people do that to themselves. So, and I mean, it's a dying app, so I'm good on that. But, I got something to announce right now, actually. Let's hit y'all with it. Every Monday, we're going to be replacing this show every 4 weeks. So it'll start next week. Will be the first, and I'm still hammering on a name. I got some name ideas. But every 4 weeks on Monday, Omar Kelly's going to join me, and we're going to recap the last quarter of Dolphin football every 4 weeks for y'all. All right? So it's going to start off as once a month. Every 4 weeks, we're going to do the first after the Buffalo game. Second will be the Monday after Week 8. And then the third will be the Monday after Week 12, et cetera, et cetera. You see where I'm going here? So every 4 weeks, I'll have Omar Kelly on Mondays. And we'll be bringing a show to y'all just to recap the last quarter of Dolphin football. So that's going to be every Monday. And that's going to start Week 4, Week 8, Week 12, Week 16, and hopefully into the playoffs, man. So, and we'll see where we go from there, man. Hopefully, things improve and keep getting better, man. But listen, I had Omar Kelly on the channel for the first time 2 years ago, I want to say, and then I tried to have him on last year. I was gonna have him and Nick Hex on the same show. And we're just going to break the internet with that, the community with that. And it got blocked by Big O. Him and Big O no longer work together. And now, it's weekly, it's monthly right now. So, eventually, hopefully it can grow by next season and we can eventually get into a weekly thing. That's the goal. We'll see how it goes. But for now, it's going to be weekly, and I got some names for it, and that's what we're going to be doing. Next week's going to be the first episode, so be out on the lookout for that. Let's go. Been working on that behind the scenes, and man, we're good to go. So Omar Kelly and Reason next week, and every 4 weeks after that. All right. So I think it's going to be a good conversation, man. I think it's going to be, you want my honest opinion? I think it's going to be some of the best dual conversation in the community since me and EM were rocking Finside the NFL back in the day. And that's just me keeping it a buck with you. So, it's going to be good, man. It's going to be a good conversation. All right? So, be on the lookout for that. All right? Now, let's get into the coverage snaps for week 2. And speaking of, I'm thinking of calling. Yeah, I got some names. I got some names for the show because it's every 4 weeks. I want to let y'all know. Here, I'll let y'all vote in the chat. Here we go. We'll involve the community. All right, I'm thinking because it's every 4 weeks. Remember, it's every 4 weeks. So I'm thinking either cover 4, the cover 4 pod, or cover 4 with Reason Omar Kelly, or remember, every 4 weeks, quarters coverage with Reason and Omar Kelly. So you got cover 4 or quarters coverage. They mean the same thing, but obviously, stylistically, look different. So let me know what y'all think about that. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good conversation, man. We got cover 4. Quarters goes hard. 4 quarters deep. 4 quarters deep. There you go. Cover 4 pod, cover 4, quarters coverage. Yeah, so cover 4. I locked it in officially tonight, so now we're just locking in the time. Quarterly coverage. I'm seeing a lot of cover 4 love. I love it. All right. I got to get logos and stuff made, guys, so I need your help. I appreciate all y'all. Appreciate all y'all. Oh, hey, don't worry. Hey, people forget, man. People forget that Jesse Davis gem came from my conversation with Omar. People forget, man. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good, man. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be good conversation. Y'all are going to enjoy it. And I always strive to bring you guys the best content possible. I know y'all enjoy what I do with Neil. Y'all enjoy what I do with Richmond and Ball Game. Trust me, y'all enjoy me and Omar. And I have a feeling y'all are going to be itching for more me and Omar. Trust me. All right, let's get into the snap counts for yesterday. But before we do, we got to go over this because it happened before the game. So chronologically, we got to technically stick in order. If you didn't see it, I'm going to play it here, right over my shoulder, right over the great coach Don Shula. Hopefully, I'll be adding another Super Bowl trophy over that shoulder this season. But anyways, I digress. If you didn't see what Boomer Esiason said, let's see. Yeah, here's your chance to see it, and let's talk about it.
But how about Tua Tagovailoa, guys? It does warm the cockles of my heart
Warms
to
the
see
what?
him play the way that he is playing. And you know what? He played great last year until he got hurt, and then he came back. He played great again, and then he got hurt again. And then, of course, they lose up to the Bills in the playoffs. But I will say this. His ball accuracy, anticipation, and the softness of the ball coming to the receiver's hands reminds me of Joe Montana.
Oh,
There you go.
So Boomer Esiason, former NFL quarterback, just comparing to his ball, his anticipation, his placement to the great Joe Montana. I mean, and he ain't crazy. I'm going to tell you why he's not crazy because, people are going to hear that comparison and they're going to go, he's off his rocker. Well, is he? So, I mean, obviously, Tua needs to play a lot longer, and he needs to win some Super Bowls because Montana has 4, right, Super Bowl wins, and that's nothing to shake that's nothing to shake a stick at. But if you look at his career numbers, you're talking about 11.6 yards per completion, 7.7 yards per attempt, and a 97.3 passer rating. Montana's career numbers are 11.9 yards per completion, 7.5 yards per attempt, and a 92.3 rating. So, and if you look at this year so far, right now Tua is leading the league in those categories at 14.2 yards per completion, 10.1 yards per attempt, and 121.9 passer rating. So, and you look at his career, Tua's completing about 66.2% of his passes, while Montana completed about 63.2. So it's really not that far-fetched of a, and also remember this, a big thing too, Tua averaged, right now he averages 2.4 touchdowns for every 1 interception, while Montana averages about 1.96 touchdowns per every 1 interception. So, I mean, obviously it's a much more pass-happy league right now than it was. But, then when you had Jerry Rice and such, you were still passing the ball a lot, right? It's not like he didn't have jabronis he was throwing the ball to. So with Boomer Esiason comparing him, I just found that kind of interesting because he's not – that's obviously the winning. In that sense, it's a ludicrous comparison. But when you're talking about as a quarterback, comparatively, it's not. Now, I see, Kurt Warner and Tom Brady more than I see Joe Montana as a passer in Tua. I said, before we drafted him, when we talk about him at Alabama, we talk about, I'd throw the Tom Brady stuff around, and I'd even talk about, what do I need? High efficiency, high level IQ, high level accuracy. That's what Tom Brady and the Patriots built a dynasty off of. I always said that. And I see that in Tua right now. Like, I think this is going to be crazy. This sounds like a crazy take, but he's a better passer than Drew Brees. He's a better passer than Drew Brees was. He has a stronger arm than Drew Brees did. and he anticipates windows a lot better than Drew Brees did. Like, I mean, Drew Brees was great, but I'm seeing better than Drew Brees. I'm seeing like Tom Brady on point. You know what I mean? I'm seeing like Kurt Warner, because Kurt Warner, when he was with those Rams, we're talking about a next level passer, man. People forget. So, anyways, that's what I see. It is what it is. Let's get into the snap counts from yesterday. And then we will kick over to the grades for all of y'all. So starting off with the snap counts, you can see here Isaiah Wynn, Austin Jackson, 100% of the snap counts. We had 73 total snaps on offense. Obviously, Connor Williams missing some snaps due to and Eichenberg had to go in there for him due to his injury. And then Robert Hunt, I think he had some equipment issues. He had to, I don't know what happened, because Cotton got 12 snaps. So, here's me hoping that he's not hurt. I mean, so look at Julian Hill, though. Julian Hill just putting in the work. 78% of the snaps for Julian Hill. Wow. So, and then, hey, look at this. Craycraft injured. He goes down. But you see, Cedric Wilson was out there. You wouldn't even know it, for 34 snaps. Barrios had 37. Obviously, Cedric took the snaps. And then you had Chosen taking some snaps as well, right? He took 42 snaps. Mixed it in between Cedric and Chosen. Mostert and A-Chain. Almost pretty even. Mostert only had 7 more snaps than A-Chain. Only 7 more snaps than A-Chain. Now, I mean, that's interesting. A-Chain getting the work in. Julian Hill getting that work in. Julian Hill just getting that work in. A lot of snaps going around for Julian Hill. Love to see him get that kind of workload early on. Now, interesting thing that's going to probably pop up to you when we head over here. It's A-Chan. I see you in the comments. It's A-Chan, not A-Chain. Did I say A-Chain? I said A-Chain again. I'm so used to it. A-Chan. My bad. Devin A-Chan. All right. Justin Bethel with Eli Apple out. Oh, my God. He replaces Eli Apple. This guy comes in and replaces Eli Apple. Clear CB3 yesterday was Justin Bethel. Wasn't even close. So they deactivate Cam Smith, but they push the Justin Bethel button hard yesterday. So interesting stuff. And you see the snap counts all over the place because of all the different defensive looks and formations they were giving yesterday. Jalen Phillips only saw 29 of the snaps before he went down. Van Ginkel ended up having with 30. Interesting thing to me too here is Ogba only had 23 snaps, and he made the most of it yesterday. He was very noticeable with the interception, the sack, etc. Tackle for a loss. I mean, Ogba had a good day yesterday. Strong day yesterday. So, very impressed to see Emmanuel Ogba wake up and answer the call a little bit. Heading over to the PFF grades now. For yesterday, here are your offensive grades. Tyreek Hill was the top graded Dolphin with a 95. Devin Achane, number 2 with a 94.4. Raheem Mostert, third with a 92.7. Chris Brooks, on his 13 snaps, get up there with a 91.2. Look at this. The running backs take 3 of the 4 spots. Mike White, with 15 snaps, comes in at an 88.2. Tua, with 58 of the snaps, comes in at 87.8. So, obviously, you know, they benched even some of the linemen yesterday. That's awesome. Robert Hunt got to sit down for Lester Cotton. That's great. Robert Hunt coming in with an 81.4. Taron Armstead with an 87.8 right now. Wow. Guys, it is unbelievable because if we go outside of if we go over, right, and we go right now to the top graded, look at Tua Tagovailoa is the top graded quarterback in the NFL right now at a 92.2. But let's hold on. Give me a sec. Minimum dropbacks, all right? Let's do 50% of 148. So minimum of 70 plus 74, what is it? Yeah, 74 dropbacks. Tua Tagovailoa is number 1 as a passer. When you go offensive grade, he's number 1 there as well amongst quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, when we go to running backs, rushing grades, right now, Devin Achane is the top graded guy. But, I mean, again, we'll be fair. We'll be fair. We'll go a minimum of, we'll do 20%. We'll do 20% of 52. So starter, 62. So Raheem Mostert is leading right now in offensive grade and run grade. Now, if you take that off, Devin Achane's leading. And then for receiving grades, guys, you ain't going to believe it. Tyreek, number 1 for receivers. Offensive grade and receiving grade, Tyreek's number 1. So, wow. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, let's get into the passing. Here's the passing chart for Tua, according to PFF. They have him 1 for 2 on the deep portion of the field. He's 1 for 1 over the middle, 0 for 1 to the left. He was 7-7 over the middle on the intermediate level. And then over the short level, he was 7-for-9. Behind the line of scrimmage, he was a perfect 8-for-8. When Tua was kept clean yesterday, he was 21 of 24 for a 87.5 completion percentage. Adjusted, it's still 87.5. There were no drops. And he had 281 yards came when he was kept clean, and he averaged 11.7 yards per attempt and had 4 touchdowns. Under pressure, he was still 2 for 2 for 28 yards, averaged 14 yards per attempt, and he actually should have been perfect because his adjusted completion percentage was 100%. Now, his average depth of target was 6.4 yards when he was kept clean yesterday. So, and his average time to throw, look at that. When he's kept clean, 2.06. When he was under pressure, 2.9. His average time to throw yesterday was 2.13 seconds. Quick hitting, quick processing, and accurate. And it's just shredding defenses apart right now. What else can you say? Shout out to Tua, man. Get it done. Now, from a blocking standpoint, the Dolphins allowed 1 pressure yesterday. Austin Jackson allowed a QB hit. Other than that, they allowed no sacks, no hurries, nothing. 1 pressure allowed by the offensive line yesterday, and they tried to sell me that Butch Berry wasn't the guy. Stop right now. Unbelievable stuff. Now, when you look at the defensive grades, oh my God. Jevon Holland, a 95.6. My God. Andrew Van Ginkel comes in with an 83.8. Deshaun Elliott with an 82.7. I'm telling you, Brandon Jones, my friend, listen, you're on a contract year. You better get healthy and you better get producing. Because Deshaun Elliott, woo! Emmanuel Ogbah comes in with a 79.8. David Long with a 75.3. Christian Wilkins with a 73.9. Channing Tindall on his 9 snaps at a 69.3. Your worst graded people were Xavier Howard at a 37.3. And Elijah Campbell had a 39. Jalen Phillips had a 39.6. Eli Apple on his 4 snaps had a 43.4. Bradley Chubb had a 45. Zach Seiler had a 46.6. Who were the worst graded offensive guys? We didn't go over it. Liam Eichenberg at a 29 and Julian Hill at a 37.6. And then when you look at pressures from our defense, Emmanuel Ogbah led the way. 1 sack, 3 hurries, 4 pressures. Zach Seiler had 3. He had 2 hits, 1 hurry. Christian Wilkins, 3 pressures. Now, in terms of like run stops, David Long Jr. had the most. He had 3. And the most tackles, Jevon Holland yesterday. Now, in coverage, Kader Kohu was targeted 5 times. Targeted 8 times, allowed 5 receptions for 66 yards, had a pass breakup and 2 first downs. Xavier Howard targeted 6 times, allowed 5 receptions for 76 yards, 5 first downs, and a touchdown. Also had a drop. Jevon Holland targeted 4 times, allowed 3 receptions for 17 yards and a first down, and had a pass breakup. Deshaun Elliott targeted 3 times, allowed 1 reception for a first down and a pass breakup. David Long targeted 3 times, allowed 3 receptions and 3 first downs. Justin Bethel targeted twice, allowed 4 yards, and that's it. Duke Riley, when he came in, he was targeted twice, allowed 1 reception for 6 yards. Elijah Campbell, when he came in, allowed 1 reception to Jerry Jeudy for 46 yards. Eli Apple targeted once, allowed 0 receptions. Kelvin Joseph, he got some playing time. He allowed a reception to Mims on 1 target for 5 yards. Andrew Van Ginkel targeted once, allowed 0 receptions. Jerome Baker targeted once, allowed 8 yards to P. Ryan. Brandon Jones, he got targeted once against Jerry Jeudy and did not allow a reception. Shout out to the homie. And those are your PFF grades. Shout out to Dr. Draft coming through with the donation. Appreciate you, sir. And he says, the team is rolling. Can't wait to cook Buffalo. Get him on a rotisserie, baby. Get him on a rotisserie. Let's go. I'm ready. I was born ready for this. So those are the PFF grades, man. I mean, hey, Tua, top graded quarterback offensively and from a passer grade. Tyreek, offensive grade and receiving grade, number 1 receiver. Raheem Mostert, from a rushing and offensive grade, number 1 amongst running backs. Devin A-Chain right there now. Unbelievable. I'm telling you right now. This is a special, special season we're going through right now, man. I don't know what else to say. And right now, Jevon Holland is actually, I just checked, he's number 1 in coverage among safeties, and he has a number 1 defensive grade among safeties at a 93.1. We got 4 players that are the top graded at their position by PFF. When the hell has that ever happened? I'm just saying. Whew. It's so good that Ryan Clark compared the 2023 Miami Dolphins to the 2000 Rams, and we're going to get into that in a little bit here. All right? We're going to get into that. Let's get through next-gen stats. And then, because we got actually a lot to go through next-gen stats. Oh, my God. This is amazing. Oh, my God. Wait till y'all see this. We're pulling out the next-gen stats this week. All right, let's start off with Russell Wilson. This is Russell Wilson. I always show the opponent's pass chart against us. This is Russell Wilson's pass chart. He's 23 of 38, 306. Touchdown, interception. Xavier Howard said it was disrespectful to leave Russell in there when they're getting blown out the way they were. Listen, kudos to Russell for pushing the ball a little bit more down past the 10-yard line than Herbert did. But besides that, you are no match for the left arm of God. Go home to Sierra. If she first of all, you better make sure she ain't texting Tua, because she wants to know what a real quarterback looks like and feels like. You better make sure of that first, Russell. Okay. Second thing you need to do, if she ain't, cry on her shoulder, brother, because it's over. I don't know if he'll be it feels like him or Sean Payton are going to be gone. One of the two is going to be gone by the end of the season in Denver. That's what it feels like to me. So let's get to the good stuff. All right. Let's get to the good. All right. Now, you can't push it deep every week, but you see Tua just feasting off the middle of the field against Denver. Holy yesterday. When you look at the passing chart, 23 of 26. Hallelujah for my film breakdown. Remember, Tua Tuesday tomorrow night with me and former Florida A&M quarterback, the homie Martin, will be here. Tua Tagovailoa, 23 of 26. You saw Wilson was a minus 0.06 CPOE, and Tua's a plus 14.3. All right, let's get that out of the way first. And I mean, look at the middle of the field. Just eating. They couldn't stop him. They could not stop him. Holy my Lord. All right, let's go. Look at this. Spread the ball around, slice and dice. All right. So those are that's the passing chart for Tua and Russell. But oh boy, we ain't done with next gen stats before we even get to the game center. We ain't done. After yesterday, I want y'all to talk. We've talked about this the past couple of weeks. Let's talk about it again. According to next gen stats, here are the fastest ball carriers so far this season. Here's the top 5. Number 5, Devon Achane, 21.5 miles per hour this week on a 3-yard rush. She got to 21.5 miles per hour. Okay, think about that. Tyreek Hill, 21.52 in week 1 on a 35-yard touchdown reception. Raheem Mostert in week 2, 43-yard touchdown rush last week against the Pats, got up to 21.62. Tyreek Hill in week 1 on his 47-yard touchdown reception, 47-yard reception, got up to 21.66. Yesterday on Devon Achane's 67-yard rush, this man got up to 21.93 miles per hour. Let's go. Are you kidding me right now? Never mind the greatest show on surf or turf. This is the fastest show on turf ever. That's ridiculous. If speed kills, the NFL is about to be, come up all dead. And let's keep it. Because, I teased it yesterday. Let's keep it rolling with next-gen stats. Remember that advice Patrick Surtain Sr., former Dolphin, gave to his son about helping him exploit the weaknesses of the offense and covering Tyreek Hill? Well, I guess it didn't work because Patrick Surtain aligned across from Tyreek Hill on 13 of 21 routes at 61.9%. He was in press coverage on 7 of those routes, 53.8%. Surtain allowed 4 receptions for 99 yards and a touchdown on 5 targets to Hill, the most he's allowed to a receiver in his career. Not to mention, he allowed a 60-plus yard touchdown to Robbie Chosen. Like, let's go right now. This is unbelievable stuff. Come on, baby. I mean, we are seeing historic stuff. Historic stuff. Poetry in ocean. As Scott said. I'm going to put that on a tee for you, Scott. Like, let's go, man. Whew. Hoo-wee. Come on. This is just next level right now. This offense, man, we got the funnest offense to watch in the NFL. A defense that looks like it's on the verge of being great. Just wait. I'm telling y'all, just wait until week 8 with that defense. Trust me. All right. Diving deeper into the next gen stats. So, longest completed air distance was Mike White with his 50.7 yard pass to Chosen. And then Russell had a 50.2 yard bomb. Jerry Jeudy was the fastest ball carrier for the Denver Broncos, getting up to 20.95. That was almost a mile slower than Devon Achane at 21.93. Fastest sack in the game altogether was Emmanuel Ogba. It was the only sack in 3.4 seconds. There you see Tua. They had him 1 for 1. Oh, sorry, 1 for 2 deep. They had him 6 for 6 on the intermediate level. And then they had him 8 for 10 on the short level and a perfect 8 for 8 behind the line of scrimmage. Rushing, you see Devon Achane did most of his running off Teron Armstead's hip, baby. 148 of his 203 yards came off that left side. What did I say? When Wynn and Armstead are out there, just run. I've been saying this, just run to the left side. And oh boy. Mostert, he distributed his yardage around the offensive line as he found some success running on the gaps to the right side as well as off Mostert's hip. Chris Brooks, he found some holes running to that right gap as well. Big time. 60 of his 66 yards came inside those gaps. Javonte Williams, 11 carries for 42 yards. Looked like he might get something going early on, and then that game just got out of reach for them. The average separation across the league is about 2.94 yards. Well, yesterday, Tyreek had 3.46 yards, which beats it. Chosen was right around at 2.89 yards. Barrios demolished it at about 4.89 yards. Smythe was at 4.28 yards. And Craycraft was well below it at 0.58 yards. On the flip side, Adam Trotman had about 2.19 yards for the Broncos. Sutton had 4.19. He looked open all game. Jerry Jeudy, 2.15. Mims, 3.21. He looks dangerous, that kid. Brad Johnson at 2.77. And then for a defensive pass rush, the league average separation from QB is about 4.56 yards. On the Dolphins, Bradley Chubb was about 3.12. Silo was about 4.27. Wilkins, 4.3. And then the next one up was Raekwon, below the league average at 5.06. So we had 3 above the league average. They had 2. They had Randy Gregory, Cooper, and then beyond that, Allen and Harris were well outside of the average separation from quarterback. So when you dive into the next-gen stats, man, what a week for the Miami Dolphins. And how big of a week? Ryan Clark compared the 2023 Dolphins to the 2000 Rams on Get Up. Let's take a look.
There is a quarterback that wasn't Tua Tagovailoa that should probably be the Jets starting quarterback right now that threw a 70-yard touchdown against the Denver Broncos. And that was Mike White.
Yeah.
They had backups scoring touchdowns for the Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna be honest, and I don't believe it's hyperbole. This is the most explosive offense we've seen since the greatest show on turf. And that's even with Kansas City's Tyreek Hills and all of those different things. There is so much speed on this field, and I believe that Mike McDaniel is so creative in the way he creates openings for these people and the empowerment of Tua Tagovailoa. Tua has always been extremely accurate. He's always been extremely skilled in going through progressions and processing. He is on an entirely different level. And what Tyreek Hill said, which still, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world. What Tyreek Hill said when he got there is like, Tua is ultimately accurate, maybe more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. It's not as funny now to laugh at that when we're seeing what he's able to do.
I mean, you hear the comparison and you hear the praise, and listen, Ryan ain't wrong. This is the greatest show on surf. I mean, this team right now, we talked about it earlier, and I mean, we can dive a little bit deeper into it here, but the things that this team is doing right now, Tua alone, right now, when you compare them to Montana, it's just unbelievable. But I mean, they're averaging more yards per play than them. But okay, listen, if you're going to compare this right now, the Rams from 99 to 2001, they averaged about 4,991 passing yards a season. The Dolphins are right now on pace to throw for 5,792 yards in 16 games, and we got 17. So we're just averaging it out for 16. They're on the verge of crushing that by like 800 yards, okay? That's number one, all right? The Rams' offense averaged about 435 yards per game, all right? The Dolphins right now are averaging 550 yards per game, and they averaged about 364 and a half last year, which it's unsustainable. But they're averaging 115 yards a game more than what the Rams did. The Rams averaged about 32.7 points per game during that span. Right now, the Dolphins are averaging 44.3 points per game, and they averaged 23.4 last season. Okay, this is unbelievable. All right? Now, the Dolphins have put up 1,651 yards through the first 3 games, and that's the most ever. New England had that record for the first 3 weeks of the 2011 season. They had 1,621 yards, but it's now the Dolphins' record. Again, and they had the second most points before the first 3 weeks. They have 130, and the record's like 132 from the 68 Cowboys. So, I mean, this team is just, they're finding another level. They're finding another gear. And you got Tua being compared to Montana, and you got this team being compared to the Rams. And it's not as crazy as people think it is. It's really not. It's really not. So, and then we look at it over every week. We got to look at it just because it's beautiful. Heading into Monday night, here is the efficiency chart we go over every week. So we got EPA per play on the left and offensive grade on the bottom. And Tua Tagovailoa remains the most efficient quarterback in the NFL, and it's not even close. Not even close. Oh boy. Is it? This man, and remember, for the first 12 weeks last year, do you remember when we showed these charts? We showed these charts every week last year as well. Remember, we showed them all last year as well. And him and Mahomes were off the right side all last year. It was him and Mahomes just off the right side all of last year. And Mahomes is back a little bit. He's still he's still right. He's still, in the number 2 behind Tua, right? Because Lawrence, he's got a great grade, but his EPA is not good right now. Not good. Whereas Mahomes, he has, right now Mahomes has the 4th best EPA, and he has the 4th best PFF grade. So that's where he's at. While Tua is just number one in everything over here. Just saying. Whew. Miami Kid Jay says, I would like to see Tua finish the season healthy. We all would, brother. But even if he gets paid this week, I'll be fine with it. The kid is playing on another level. Brother, he's just building off of what he looked like last year. Right? That's exactly, Lizzie. Exactly. People like me have been trying to tell these people the film breakdowns. Go back to the Cardinals game in year one. Under Brian Flores, with an inept offense, whether it's Chan Gailey or Godsey and Stootsville, and with inept personnel around him, you still saw flashes of greatness consistently. And what's crazy is his last year, right? His last year under Flores, every year you saw the flashes grow and grow in terms of per game. Like that last year, look at the fourth quarter against Atlanta. After he had thrown the 2 picks, and everyone was counting him out, and the Lamar Jackson rumors were swirling. Look at that fourth quarter in Atlanta, how he drove us back. He basically left the field and said, all right, Brian, y'all got a lead. Y'all got a 2-point lead. Go put your amazing Super Bowl defense out there and stop them. Did we get the stop? No. Right? People forget, man. This guy was putting up performances. But he wasn't just doing it consistently yet. But that was a result of bad personnel from the sideline to the field. Look at Mahomes right now. Mahomes was off the chart with Tua last year with how they were producing. Now, you see he didn't have Kelsey. Usually it's Kelsey probably really hurt that, right? But look at where you saw with Mahomes on that chart now. Because he's having to make chicken salad out of chicken you know what with the weapons he's being given. People, like, we're Dolphin fans. If anyone understands it takes more than one player to win and more than one side of the football to win anything, it should be us who watched Marino. I mean, I don't know what else to say. So, you know, I just don't get it. So, listen, you're seeing Tua do what he does right now. Enjoy it. Embrace it. We're seeing greatness, man. We've been praying for this since 13 hung it up. We've been praying for this since Jacksonville sent him packing. We've been praying for this when we were watching Ricky tear the league up and we were stuck with Jay Fiedler. We were praying for this when we were running the Wildcat offense and we had a broken down Chad Pennington that wasn't in his prime that only managed, 18 or 19 passing touchdowns that year. Because if you would have had this element as well, oh my God, we would have won the Super Bowl that year. Listen, we wasted 3 years of this kid under Flores. And the turnaround under McDaniel and the turnaround with his offense has made the journey even more sweeter. Enjoy it, man. There's going to be, if this guy keeps winning, there's going to be there's going to be a 30 for 30 about this one day. You saw Baker pack his bags and leave Cleveland because he wasn't putting up with the disrespect. Tua put up with the disrespect. He persevered. Ross made the right decision by canning Flores, bringing in McDaniel, and giving Greer another shot. They've built this roster. A good head coach has elevated not just Tua, but that locker room and this organization and the culture around it. And now we're reaping the benefits and we're watching 50-point drubbings on Sunday. You know why I'm worried if Tua gets into the playoffs, and if a lot of these players get into the playoffs with what they've been through the last 3 years, a lot of this core, a playoff run ain't going to be nothing. Last year, they were just missing their quarterback, or else we would have. Clearly, if we already almost beat them with Skyler, we would have spanked them with Tua. So, this team's hungry. This team's ready. They're not going to have this much talent accumulated at once in this window. Go get it done. And listen, I'll repeat what I said yesterday. If Achane and Mostert keep playing the way they do, and they make upgrading at running back irrelevant, if a Roquan Smith caliber linebacker isn't available, go get Aaron Donald. Help out that pass rush. Because in Fangio's defense, it's got to be a natural four-man rush. Can't always be manufacturing the pass rush in this. That's not how this defense is designed. So we've got to get some more natural pass rushers. Add Aaron Donald at the deadline, and let's roll. And let's absolutely terrorize offenses and defenses on the opposing team. And with Ramsey coming back on top of that, we ready for Mr. Lombardi, all right? Listen, I'm going to see all y'all tomorrow. Be on lookout around 7:30, 7:45-ish for me and Martin. Tua Tuesday, the original 4 years running. And we're going to be back tomorrow night breaking down every drop back. And we might break down a few of those Achane runs just cuz, baby. So be on the lookout tomorrow night. Me and Martin will be live for Tua Tuesday. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be awesome. I appreciate all y'all. We had almost 500 of you in the room today. Smash that like button. Please do me the favor. It costs nothing. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. And appreciate each and every one of you that donated and each and every one of you that took the time to smash the like button. I love each and every one of you. I'll see y'all tomorrow. You already know what time it is, baby. Fins up. Buffalo Bills, bring it on.